Cornwall feels older than the rest of England. The cliffs rise sharp from the sea, the wind never quite settles, and the churches, small, weathered, ancient, sit as though they were placed there long before memory. In 1976, in a quiet village called Mawnan, something was seen in the sky above the church tower. Not a bird, not a trick of the light. Something shaped like a man, with wings. This is the story of the Owlman of Cornwall. The church is real. St Mawnan and St Stephen's Church. It stands near the Helford River, surrounded by thick trees and narrow lanes. Old stone, low tower. The kind of place that seems to hum quietly with its own history. It was here in April 1976 that two young girls were playing in the churchyard while on holiday. They looked up and they saw it. A large winged creature hovering above the tower. Its body shaped like a man, its wings broad and feathered, its eyes dark and fixed upon them. It did not flap wildly, it glided. The girls later drew what they had seen. A tall figure with wings stretched wide, talons extended, standing or hovering above the church. They were terrified, and they refused to go back. What unsettled investigators was not the sighting, it was the drawings. The girls sketched a creature unlike any known bird. The proportions were wrong, the wings too large, the body too upright. It looked almost ritualistic, like something carved into stone in an older age. The name Owlman began to circulate, and the church gained a reputation. Later that same year, another visitor claimed to see a similar winged being rising from the trees near the church. Again, the description was consistent. A man-shaped figure, large wings, dark colouring, hovering silently. No screeching, no attack. Just watching. Watching from above a place of worship. And that detail, the church, clings to legend. Cornwall is a land layered with myth. Standing stones, ancient earthworks, stories older than written record. Some researchers have suggested the Owlman echoes older figures, spirits tied to sacred places, watchers perched on towers, guardians or omens. There are comparisons to Mothman in America, to harbingers of doom, to folkloric creatures that appear before tragedy. But in Cornwall, the Owlman did not predict disaster. He simply appeared, as though the sky above the church belonged to him. Unlike many cryptids, the Owlman has no trail of bodies, no attacks, no missing persons linked definitely to him, just sightings, brief, terrifying, and then gone. That makes him harder to categorise. Is he a misidentified bird? A trick of perspective against a grey sky? Something that exists only in the space between fear and imagination? Because when a child looks up at an old church tower, the mind fills shadows quickly. Imagine standing in that churchyard at dusk, the river air damp against your skin, the trees shifting softly. You glance up at the tower. Something moves against the fading light. Not the flutter of a crow, not the steady arc of a gull. Something larger. Wings stretching wide, a body held upright in the air as though gravity is optional. It turns its head and it looks directly at you. The original sketches still circulate in books and archives. Simple pencil lines, large circular eyes, extended talons. A human-like torso tapering into feathered limbs. Children's drawings often distort proportions, but fear is rarely abstract. They drew what they believed they saw, and they never changed their story. Sightings tapered off in the late 1970s. No capture, no clear photograph, just testimony. And a tower. If the Owlman exists, he exists quietly. He does not stalk the streets. He does not coil around the hills. He watches from above, and then he slips back into the tree line as if he was never there.